Hello and welcome to Mr. Edwards' Forest School. This video is basically about digging, and everyone loves digging. Everyone at Forest School's always digging. Grab a stick, away you go. Obviously, as you dig, you find little creatures, worms, all sorts of things which are really interesting. And as you dig, you get mud, which is also really cool because you can make lots of things with it. Lots of people make mud pies and do all sorts of stuff like that. I mean, in this wet weather, it works really well. What you need is the mummies and daddies and carers to give maybe a metre square of their garden if they have some soil in their garden, and away you go. I've dug down here about this deep, and as you go through the mud and explore the mud and the roots and all the other things, you will find clay. Now you may need mummy or daddy to dig some of the hole to get this deep. It's unlikely you could do that with just a stick, but the robins will come and they'll love the worms, and if people at home do gardening, then you'll be turning soil over around this time of year, and you will have to get down to the clay layer, and you'll be seeing the clay as you turn the soil over, so that's a good chance to get in and do that. Don't worry if you don't have a garden or any land you can give over for a little digging area. You can go to the woods, where you'll find clay, which is what we're getting down to and what we're going to use in a second, where trees naturally blow over in a storm. Their roots pull the top layer of soil or leaf mould and stuff that's in the woods over, and underneath the roots you will see lots of clay stuck to that, but more in the hole it leaves, it will go down to the clay. So that's great to use. That's what we use in the woods. Just check that there's no animals or anything used in the hole, and make sure it's kind of nice, roughly clean. And I mean, by clean, I mean obviously no poo or anything like that in there. Obviously mud itself is dirty, but we love getting dirty and it's great. Really important to love the soil. Soil's really, really important to the whole planet. Very, very important. I'm not going to use any gloves today, mainly because in the woods we do give out latex gloves and things like that to people who want them, and it's not everybody. But obviously it just creates more mess, more waste, more rubbish, and rubber and plastics and things like that. They don't break down very well, so they're not very what we call green. And I'm just going to use my hands because it's great to feel the mud. So if I put my hand in the hole, which I know you can't see too well, but the hole's actually filling up with water because it's been so much rain. But you'll find some more sort of yellowy mud, and it feels different from mud. It's squishy. Okay, you can actually probably wring a little bit of water out of it. It's almost too wet at the moment, but it is okay. I've got a bowl of water. When the mud is drier, it's harder to dig for a start, but you will need to use a bit of water to make it all squishy, otherwise it's just hard. Perfect this time of year. So I've really quickly made a ball of clay. Now it's not the kind of clay you're going to buy in the shop. Okay, it's not perfect. It's got stones in it. It's got other bits and bobs. But apart from, just watch out for sharp stones in it. But apart from that, it's perfectly fine to use. And obviously you can make sort of animal bodies and heads and put sticks in. Of course, it's like a bit like a snowman, really. You could easily make a snowman with a stick in the top and another blob on the head, and just sort of whack it down a little bit so it's got a little bit of a flat base, and away you go. What I'm actually doing here, what I want to show you, is something we do at Forest School quite a lot, and for me it's a bit of a celebration of trees. Trees are really important, and sometimes just to sort of celebrate trees, we give it a face and we decorate it. This can take quite a while if you want to take your time. I've seen some incredible faces of people who have spent maybe half an hour or longer doing this. I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to show you. We've got a ball of clay. We're just going to kind of make it, I suppose, a bit more egg-shaped, maybe. Now you can throw this at the tree. A lot of people will just throw it in the woods, but you, to be more careful, just gently place it on the tree and just push the edges round so it's got something to stick to. Now, so if you took the clay indoors, if you make an animal or something, it will dry out quite quickly and crack and actually fall apart probably. Outdoors, in the wetter conditions, damper conditions, this will be on there for a few months. And then of course the fun part starts that you decorate it, and you can put sticks in it. Leaves are great, stones. Berries are really good for, because of their colours, they are really good for parts of the face. But you've got to know what berry is which. That's really important. Again, mums, dads, carers, if you do know what you're doing, that's great. Use berries, that's fine. But if you're a child, maybe don't. Certain things like ivy berries, for instance, will be a bit poisonous. But you could use them in the right way. It doesn't rub off on your hand. Yew berries, which tend to be a bit sticky, the yew generally is poisonous, and we don't want to use things like that. So you've got to know what you're doing with the berries, same as everything else outside. I've got the water here, which is good. As I say, you're going to use that when the clay is hot. But today, I'm just using it to wash my hands, keep them nice and clean. I mean, obviously, you're only going to do that at the end. You might want to play with it for hours, I don't know. But at the end, you're going to need to wash your hands and keep nice and clean. And that really is it. I think that it's such a simple thing to have somewhere to dig and be allowed to dig, but it is actually hours of fun. And this is a mud kitchen we're developing, so when all you guys come back to school, this is something that you're going to be able to use here at our school. Okay, thank you very much. And there's the face without anything on it, and there's one I really quickly made earlier. Okay, thank you.